working for a warehouse is not for everyone. So, if you are thinking of, let me just give you my experience. So now you're kind of, in the know of what to expect. So, let me take you back on memory lane. This took place like August 2024. I was down and out. I was looking for a job. I was applying everywhere. I just so happened to apply at a warehouse, and they reached back out to me. So, I went up there, did the interview, all that, went gravy. They were like, all right, you gotta go take a drug test, bring that back. I get the drug test, bring it back to them. We good. First day of training. Really like my first day there, it was just a whole bunch of briefings and safety and, what do we stand for and all that. And I believe on that same day, we kind of tried out the equipment. So, at a warehouse, specifically AutoZone, there are three types of equipment. I think they're probably all called PIE, but there's your center rider, there's your double rider, and then you have, like your forklifts, as well as, it looks like a forklift, but I don't know, it don't do the same as a forklift. Anyways, so center rider, you're standing on the middle of the equipment, and you have like these little handles, kind of like a bike, and then you push them forward to go forward, push them back to go backwards, and then you can lift it up to like have an emergency stop. That is the most user friendly equipment. Like starting off, you're gonna want to do that, because the next step above is a double rider. Now that, you're standing at the edge of the equipment, and you have this like long extended handle, with kind of the same bike mechanics, but instead you're using your body weight to move around. So you push the handle down, you move forward, you lift it up to move back, and it's kind of scary to use, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the first or second day of training, you're learning the equipment, briefings, all that. Now, here comes the meat and potatoes. I will say this. My first day wasn't that bad. I had my trainer, and he was doing his job. He was training me. They started me off in hard parts. So hard parts is like your rotors, your alternators, brake pads, what else? Filters. So relatively light things. And yeah, how we had it, you would be given a headset, and you would log in to your headset on your device thingy. You could call it a phone, and then it would say go to Alpha Delta Bravo, and basically above and legit up and down the aisles, it's all by like letters and numbers. So Alpha Bravo Delta would be aisle ABD. You go there, you say confirm, and it'll say like 0210. So once you get on that aisle, you look on the side, and typically they have it pretty much organized, and you'll have your 01s, basically your odd numbers, all on the left hand side, and your even numbers all on the right hand side. So if it says 0210, you go to the second aisle, like the second little module on the right, look down, you see where it says 10, you grab that item, whatever it is. Typically they start you off like your hard parts, it will start off with like the rotors. Anyways, you grab it, you find a little label, and then the last two letters / 2 digits, you just repeat them in the headset. And so say you turn it over and it says CG, then you would say in the headset Charlie Golf. It'll be like, all right, next location 04 5, and then you basically do that all the way around. You go down and up these long aisles, and depending on how big, they call it stores, how big your store is, that's basically how big or how many items you're picking up. Sometimes they gonna want you to put that shit on a pallet. And when it's on a pallet, you gotta be a bit more strategic. You can't just be slapping your things all over and hoping it don't fall off. Cause if it does fall off, that's your AZZ. And but typically if you have a bigger store, they'll give you a cage, and cages are so much more like, I mean, it's a cage. It has its own, walls. Of course, you can unhook the sides, bend it down so that you can reach in and put things in. But yeah, once you get to a certain height, you close up the cage, and now you don't really got to worry. Like, there comes a point in that walk, if you're using a cage, once you did somewhat, okay stacking, you can just start tossing shit in there. Even though it's not recommended, everybody be doing that shit. Anyways, you're doing that all day in this. They got fans, but they really don't be working like how they need to be working in this warm, dusty, dark building. What I'm telling you, it was daily sneezing and me not wanting to, wipe my nose because my hands would be dirty from picking up these. Bro, some of these parts look like they've been staying there for like months. And here I come along, and I just so happen need to grab one, and it's covered in dust. Like, bro, and that's not even a bad part. That is the most calmest. Well, the second favorite part you'll have is the containment room. The containment room is where they have like, I guess you could say more delicate items. No, in there, they got the AC going. It has to be a certain temperature or else, cans can burst and stuff. They got like propane and a whole bunch of stuff back there. But the containment room, light work. It's legit one aisle going up, coming down. The parts are light, and typically it's not too big of a store that you'll have. Now, the second worst place to be, batteries. If you know, you know, bro. The battery aisle is like, it's always cramped for the most part of the day. And, bro, you're picking up batteries. Now, it is natural that from time to time, you might even drop a battery. You might even break one. And they're big on, carrying it the right way, using two hands. But it's like, bro, on top of building these pallets, building these cages, going around trying to find the right item, you're on a time limit. This isn't no lollygagging. Like, they want you to be on it, and that is something that I struggled with. And it's not to say that I was being lazy, that I was taking my time. Like, no, I'd be going at a good pace, just not a good enough pace. And once you mix in trying to hit and get these stores finished at a certain time, and you got to learn how to stack it right, and bro, you're gonna cut corners. And I'm gonna just say this, it's not for everybody, but it's for some people. Because at the end of the day, even though for me, it was a struggle for me to keep up and, hit that time, there were other people that been there for years, been in my position specifically for a minute, and they were able to consistently hit them numbers. So, not to say that, it's rigged and not, like, nah, like, some people could do that shit, just not me. But yeah, batteries, you gotta be careful because it's big, bulky items. I think I might still have, I don't even know if I could see that. Probably not. But I got some scars on my fingers. Bro, the battery wasn't even that heavy, but I was trying to move fast. I had no gloves on, and I was like pulling them, grabbing them, pulling them forward so that, once I grab two, the next two are right there. I don't want to grab two, then I gotta reach to the back, so I'm pulling them forward. And it just so happened that I pulled a little bit too close to the battery that I just pulled forward, and it basically my finger and the battery kind of grinded against each other. And yeah, that was probably one of my worst injuries. But bro, when I tell you, like my first couple weeks, like almost every day I was coming home with like a new scratch, a new bump, something. Like, bro, no. The by far the worst place in an AutoZone warehouse is the oil room. If you get settled there, Lord have mercy on your soul. Bro, you're picking up jugs and cases of antifreeze and oil. That's it. Like your first aisle. Antifreeze, oil. That's it. And these boxes weigh not even 30 pounds. I want to say a cool 40, 50 to 60 pounds, bro. Around that range. And that's not the worst part. Not only do you have to pick these things up and put them down on a pallet, because you can't use cages in the oil room. Also, they want you to stack it 7 layers high. Mind you, I'm 6'2". And when I tell you, there were times where I'm trying to stack the 6th and 7th layer. And bro, I legit gotta like jump. I gotta jump with a freaking 40 to 50 pound box in my hand and trying to put it on the, like, bro. And now after a while, you know, you build up strength, you build up muscle memory, and you get used to it. But bro, the first day they put me in the oil room, my back was gone. Now, of course, I wasn't lifting right, but bro, it ain't no joke. You gonna be sweating hard. Like when I tell you back when I started, I was buying Gatorades and Powerades every day, because you would need it, especially after lunch. Because in the morning times, it's kind of chill, it's kind of cool. But after lunch, that's when you got to put the pedal to the metal. Because keep in mind, at a warehouse, it ain't no, oh, yeah, your schedule is 8 to 5 p.m. and you're good. No. You leave when the work is done. So if y'all got a heavy day, if y'all got a whole bunch of stores y'all got to pick up, that's your AZZ, man. It don't matter. You might pull a 12-hour shift. I've done that a number of times. And you know, coming after lunch, you kind of sluggish a little bit. You know, you just ate, your belly a little full, and now you really got to get after it. And you know, overall, my experience there, I liked it to a degree. You know, apart from we want you to be working at this pace and keeping up, like that definitely was a main deterrent. But I want to say, other than that, once I got used to it, it was cool. It was okay. You know, management wasn't that bad. You know, there wasn't always, to a degree, I was finna say there wasn't always on your AZZ, but low-key they was. But it was okay. You know, if you can learn how to catch that pace and keep that pace, I think you might enjoy it. You know, typically warehouses, if you're working them 10-hour shifts, it's typically like four days a week. So you have a 3-day weekend, you know, Monday through Thursday, and then you get Friday to Sunday off. If you can get past the dustiness, get past no AC. So when it's cold outside, you feel that shit inside. When it's hot outside, you feel that shit inside. If you can get past that, you know, you might enjoy it there. Now, there was one other department that they put me in. Now, this was on, they put me on the shipping dock. That's what it was. Now, specifically where on the shipping dock, I was where there would be trailers, like 18-wheeler trailers pulling up, and in the back they would have various items: totes, trash, pallets, engines, transmissions, a whole bunch of different. And my job would be go in there with my center rider or my double rider, bring out a pallet, See what's on it. Sometimes it's damaged parts, sometimes it's recall parts or returns, and basically put them in the right area. I low-key did a whole lot there. Like low-key, if I would have done like 2 to 3 more departments, I would have been all over the warehouse. Anyway, so I would back up, pull it out, see where it's got to go, drop it off. Now in the tote sorting area, that now keep in mind the difference with, you know, the outbound order selectors. Now that's where you're pulling oil, hard parts, containment room, all that, what we first talked about. You got your outbound, you got your inbound. Now those are the people that are coming around and basically stocking the shelves with items. Those are your people that are on your forklifts. Then you have your shipping dock, you have returns and recalls. So outbound and inbound, they both are under time constraints. You got to keep on it. Now with the shipping dock, returns and recalls, you guys are not under a time constraint, but you need to stay on the work, specifically the tote sorting area. Now it's basically what it sounds like. You are sorting totes, stacking them up so high, putting them on pallets, getting other pallets, putting them down. And bro, that was probably one of the hardest parts. Not because of the job itself, but because they would only have like one person there. And bro, trying to keep up with people pulling stuff off trailers, dropping it in your area. Now you got to take totes off, and bro, it's never ending. One of the hardest parts in the whole warehouse. But again, you know, it's not for everybody, but it could be for you. So, you know, if you don't take anything from this video, just remember, it's hard work. You're going to need to develop a sense of urgency, a real sense of urgency. And, yeah, be prepared to really give it your best, man. Like, you know how they be like, oh, you're getting paid to work out? Yeah. Only difference is, like, this ain't no fucking gym. This is, like, hard workout. Not for 1 hour, 2 hours, no. For like 8, 9, 10 hours a day. So, hey, before you go into a warehouse, make sure you start to get into the gym, bro. Build up some cardio at least. And yeah, man, I wish you the best of luck. Me personally, I'm never going back to a warehouse. Depends. Never say never. But yeah, that'll be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to see my reaction to a whole bunch of videos, compilations, stories, body cam, I'll leave a link to the reaction channel down below in the description. Check it out. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. We're at 15 subs. Let's try to get to 16 before the end of the month. We can do it, man. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week.